Major Texans injury update. We have a lot to talk about for this Sunday's game, including some of the players on the Texans are a little questionable game time decision. Derek Stingley, we saw him with the oblique injury, but mainly the fact that the Texans are 1-3 and they have a chance to go 2-3 before the bye against the Ravens, who don't have one of their best players. Well, we're not going to spoil anything. It's pretty obvious if you haven't heard the news, but that's why we're here at Texans Digest. Mike Zanrtti here. Thank you guys so much for joining. This is awesome, but 75% of you watching right now are not subscribed. Been a little while since I've done a video, but every Friday, trying to get a little free time to do some stuff. And one of the biggest things outside of the Texans injury report has been the offensive line has been pretty bad. And in the meantime, Cam Robinson got shipped off. I don't think we really needed him. Trent Brown got promoted from the practice squad. But as far as the Texans injury report, it's not very lengthy. Nico Collins was on there. He didn't practice. He was limited, then he was a full participant yesterday, Thursday. Friday, pretty sure he's going to practice full again. But I think the main concern is Derek Stingley Jr. He's been a little on and off. I felt like he shouldn't have played against the Titans just because the Texans really didn't need him. The Texans defense would have been okay without him if he wanted to take a rest day. But then when he had the interception, I was surprised that he returned it because with the oblique injury, when he gets tackled, I'm sure that hurts even more than, playing actual coverage. When you get tackled, when you have physicality, especially to your midsection, I mean, that can hurt. So it's definitely something I was surprised to see him not slide, especially the Texans blew him out. It was scoreless. So that's kind of the main injury is Stingley if he doesn't play. But again, it's the Ravens. They should not lose this game with the amount of players that are out that I will mention. As far as the other players, Jalen Reed, the rookie safety out of Penn State. I'm pretty sure it's Jaden Reed. I get so confused with how many different Reeds are on the team. But Jalen Reed, he is hurt. Jaden Reed, he is on IR. So a lot to work out for there. Especially that hurts the team, especially since DJ Gardner-Johnson's departure where he was just, really in the locker room, just like, hey, give me the ball. And then they just, well, not give me the ball, but, put me on the field. I want to do more. You can't have that in the locker room. So good, bad, ugly. Texas injury report seems fine, but then you're going to take a look at the Ravens. Oh, my gosh. Everybody's hurt. Marlon Humphreys didn't practice. Kyle Hamilton didn't practice. Lamar Jackson's out. Roquan Smith barely practiced. There is so many defensive crucial pieces for the Ravens that are not playing. I know Roquan hasn't been playing up the standards, if anyone's been keeping up with the Ravens, but Chidobe Awuzie did not practice Thursday. Kyle Hamilton did not practice. Marlon Humphrey, Lamar Jackson, Emory Jones limited. Tyler Linderbaum, only real positive for the Ravens. Looks like they're not going to have Roquan Smith. Ronnie Stanley was a limited practice. There is so many players that I don't think are going to go. So one name, Kyle Hamilton. That's their lead safety. I mean, Marlon Humphrey, that's one of the top corners. If this defense is as bad as it is, one of the worst pass defense in the league, one of the worst rush defense in the league. Ever since the Lions game, I mean, the Bills walked the park with that defense. Both those teams scored 40-plus points in, 2 out of the 4 weeks. So that's pretty positive. If the Browns can score 17 points with that offense and Joe Flacco, and now that he got benched, the Texans should at least try and figure things out here. Nico Collins, full participant, that is huge. I'm talking about our defense, the Houston Texans, and why I believe there is no reason with Lamar Jackson out, with everyone else out, the Texans, need to key in on the run game and Derrick Henry. If you can't stop Derrick Henry, that's a problem. The only real issue for the Texans this year has been stopping the run. You let Kyren Williams kind of run all over you week 1. Week 2, you kind of let Bucky Irving walk the park as well. So stack the box. I don't care about Cooper Rush airing it out, especially the wide receivers on that team. Devontae Walker, Zay Flowers, Rashad. I don't know why I said Walker first. But yeah, there's just so many different players that I don't trust. Like, you can put zone coverage deep. You can have 2 high, 4 high, cover 3. I don't care what the defensive look is. Put 8 guys in the box every single time. If you stop Derrick Henry, you're going to stop the Ravens offense. The biggest thing with the Ravens right now is the fact that Cooper Rush is not a bad quarterback. He's a backup, which is, you're expecting your backup quarterback to make mistakes, especially with one of the best defenses in all of football. The Texans defense, number 1 in fewest points per drive entering week 5. That's pretty good. I would say, arguably, I mean, you guys can be the judge considering, we're pretty biased when it comes to the Texans, right? But they have to be a top 5 defense. I mean, I thought no doubt they're a top 5 defense. The biggest problem has been the offensive, injunction, if you will. I mean, it has been so bad. But DeMeco Ryans on how they try and replicate Lamar Jackson in practice. We cannot replicate Lamar. The good news is Lamar is not playing Sunday, so that is a good thing. It's Cooper Rush. So, again, the Texans should be able to swarm this offensive line for the Ravens, especially Ronnie Stanley, banged up in the air. We don't know if he's going to do anything crazy. But obviously the Texans line is probably the biggest question mark heading into this game against the Ravens. You saw Jeffrey Simmons, snap of a finger off the line, stack CJ Stroud in less than 4 seconds. Maybe less than a millisecond. I don't know what happened. But if anyone knows the clip that I'm talking about, I wish I had it here to put on the screen. Basically, it was a stretch play. It looked like a run. CJ Stroud didn't even get to hand it off. It was literally one Mississippi. He's down on the ground. Jeffrey Simmons just walked in untouched. Does anybody know who the right guard was who went the wrong way on the run play? Yeah, it was Ed Ingram. New asset from the Minnesota Vikings that Vikings fans ridiculed forever. And I wonder why, because he's terrible. Oh my goodness. I hate the badmouth players, but man, that was ugly. How do you, I guess it happens. Miscues happen. But how do you not know which way you're running the football? Also, if you don't know, ask the guy who's running the play. Hey, CJ, does that mean right or left? I mean, normally if you're able to listen to the play, you're able to know. I don't know if it was a check at the line or something, but man, Ed Ingram, just wake the heck up, please. I mean, I don't want to see, any of the Ravens defensive linemen coming through and just walk, again, that is the biggest thing. Can the Texans not turn the ball over? Can they get the ball down the field? Because the biggest thing with the offense, besides the offensive line, is the fact that this team, in general, had 6 points going into the fourth quarter of the Titans game. The Ravens aren't the Titans, but without Lamar Jackson, the offense is going to struggle. I mean, all you have to do in this game is score 15 to 20 points. Because with the Texans defense, the Ravens should not score more than 10 points in this game. And I think the bigger factor about this week is the fact that you are 2-3 going into a bye week. In a game, week 5, where you were not expecting all these players for the Ravens to be injured. The Ravens are 1-3. Their season might be over if they lose this game. They're also at home. So it's like everything for the Ravens, hey, we need to win this game. And again, what happened in last night's game, Mac Jones doing what he did for the Niners, I'm not saying that it's impossible, but I would really be shocked if Cooper Rush pulled it off, that kind of game. Because the Texans offense needs to wake up. They need to find their place. And to be quite honest, if they don't win this game, it's not even about the season anymore. It's about what do you do with the team. You're not firing DeMeco Ryans. I don't know why. Everyone who is on the media, on X, on TikTok, anybody who's seen any creators talk about the Texans, it's like, oh, what are they doing? They're a management dysfunctional team, trading Cam Robinson, another offensive lineman. First of all, he wasn't playing. And again, the Texans, they've had a lot of problems this year. Don't get me wrong. The offensive line, the O-line, but I think before you say fire DeMeco Ryans, let's say fire Nick Caley, the guy who constructed this weird of an offense. I mean, you're finally starting to get more guys involved. You're finally starting to move guys around, which is a positive. However, if this offense doesn't work out after the bye, especially because the bye week is where you watch film, you figure out, hey, okay, what's going wrong with the offense? What can we change? What can we make better? That's the one thing I love about Nick Caley is that he is continuing to mold this offense. That's one thing last year to this year, if we're comparing what happened, Bobby Slowick did not do enough of. He was too situational. You need to have some football IQ to be like, okay, it's 3rd and 5 here. We probably shouldn't run a draw play for 3 yards and punt. You know what I'm saying? So I like the aggressiveness that Caley is going with, but it's a matter of figuring it out, not only on offense but defensively. If the Texans lose this game, I mean, man, I would be shocked. Also, I don't have it on the screen, but the fact that the Texans, they're favored in this game. Don't get me wrong. But I looked at the percentages of what people are picking. Most people are picking the Ravens. And I know the Texans offense didn't surprise people and it didn't come alive until the fourth quarter. But CJ Stroud needs to figure it out. And if this game against a very bad Ravens secondary, if the offense can't figure it out, a defense arguably just as good as the Titans defense, there's going to be a huge problem if the Texans can't get anything going. But there is your injury report for the team, both teams, if you will. I think the Ravens is what is crazy right now. No Lamar Jackson. That's really the only news. Potentially no Hamilton, Humphrey. I mean, nobody's practicing. Ronnie Stanley, Roquan Smith. I mean, there are so many big names. Even Emory Jones, their new tackle, was a limited participant. So a lot of good for the Texans in terms of the injury bug. They just got lucky here. If Lamar Jackson was playing, I would have no hope in this Texans team. You got lucky. You got I wouldn't say a free win because there's no free win in the NFL, but it's as close as you can get to playing a backup quarterback with one of the best defenses in the league. The offense just needs to figure it out. So thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below what you're thinking about this team, how you feeling about week number 5 against the Ravens. Because if the Texans are 2-3, they could easily steal this division from the Colts, considering they still have to play them twice. They still got to play Jacksonville one more time. So there is still hope for this team. Let me know everything in the comments below. And it's been Mike Zanrtti, Texans Digest. Subscribe if you're new. Thank you guys for listening, watching, and we'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.